Okay, welcome to. I'm going to cook today a pilau. This is the first time I've done it, so bear with me. I will. So for my pilau, I will go through the ingredients I have. First, we have some chicken over there, which I seasoned yesterday. Usually I would take the skin out the chicken, but I was a bit lazy and I didn't do that. So, okay, we have some carrots, which I'm gonna add in there. Long grain rice, coconut milk. Couldn't get any fresh one because I'm actually in France at the moment. So I've got some from a can anyway. It's the same thing. I'm going to add some lentils in there and some mixed vegetables. Also, I've got some chicken stock and some vegetable stock, brown rice, and some vegetable oil. And a nice big pot. Also, afterwards, I will add some spring onions and stuff like that, just to garnish it, and something to make it look colorful. Okay, so first step, we're going to actually brown the meat. So add some oil into the pan. Now this is how we do this in the Caribbean, yeah? We don't use already made browning. We actually make our own browning, and that's with some oil and some brown sugar. It's about a tablespoon of brown sugar. Now this is on a medium to high setting. Okay, that's gonna start getting a bit brown and start bubbling up. Okay. Okay, also guys, don't forget to wash your rice a few times to get that starch and, out of the rice. Okay, we can see it's starting to burn out a bit. It's going to get a bit smoky. Just making sure all of it browns at the same time. Don't worry if it's getting a bit burnt. That's how we want it. Then I like adding a little bit of water. Just me, I'm putting a little bit of water in there. Okay, and then start chucking your chicken in. Remember, always wash your hands. I'm just gonna add a bit at a time. Keep stirring it and adding a bit at a time, stirring it. Well, as you can see, the meat is getting a bit round. Sorry, I had to turn on the extractor, so you hear that noise in the background. That's the extractor going. Can be a bit noisy, but there was so much smoke. Had to do something. Okay, just keep moving that around to make sure it's get all over. I think I have added a little bit too much chicken in there, but anyway, we'll see. You know I like my chicken, so we'll see. But remember, when you're seasoning your chicken, you know, wash your chicken, get some lime juice, wash your chicken. Don't just get it from the packet and then stuck it straight into the pot, okay? But, you know, wash the chicken, season it as long as you can. You know, sometimes I like to do it overnight, put it, you know, season it, put it in a pan, in a container, put it in the fridge, and keep, you know, when it's in that pan or when it's in that container, keep moving it around so, you know, some of the bits that's at the bottom can go to the top, you know, just keep, you know. Don't be scared to oops, one just chopped out, put it back in. You know, I always start off with a very clean kitchen, but by the end, it's a mess. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm just going to turn that down a little bit because so I don't burn it, but I want the chicken to sort of stew up a bit. So I'm going to put the cover on there just to give it a couple of minutes. Alright guys, I washed my lentils and now I've added to the pot. I'm going to add I add a little bit of water as well in there, just so, because I want the lentils to be nice and cooked, so I'm going to just, and the chicken, so I'm going to just put a little bit of, I'll just put the lentils in first so it can slightly cook, because I want it to be nice and soft. I don't want it to be hard, especially the rice. But as soon as you put the rice in there, it's going to start absorbing all the juices, and then you might it might not allow the lentils to cook. So I want to give the lentils a bit of time on its own to cook with the chicken. And whilst that's happening, I have a cup of rice and I will wash the rice. Okay, hopefully you know how to wash your rice, but I'll quickly show you. I've just got it in this unit. Turn on some water, get my hand and just keep on rinsing it out. Each time let the water run through it. Basically that gets off all the starch and, you know, whatever has been added. Basically you're washing it until the water is like almost clear and not white and frothy, so you just keep on mixing it. I'm using some nice warm water. Doesn't really matter, you can use cold water, doesn't matter. Okay, back to the pot. I'm just gonna add my stuffed cube. Sometimes you can melt this out in some add some water, and but I just add it directly because I like my dishes to have a lot of taste and flavor, and so I tend to just add like water as I go on. If it needs it, I'll add the water, so I'll just break that down in there for now. Remember, always keep tasting. That, you know, West Indian cooking, it's about taste. You know, you cannot say, oh, we'll add 2 cups of this and 2 cups of that. No, you keep tasting as you go along. You know, sometimes you add a little bit of salt, sometimes that's not right, you add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, just keep on tasting. You know, you remember, you're cooking to your taste, and if you've tasted West Indian cooking before, you're gonna know what it should be tasting like. So, you know, I'm gonna add a little bit more water in there, and this is what I had the chicken seasoned in, and I just add some water to the pan, so I'm getting all the flavors that I had from seasoning the chicken into this as well, making sure nothing, you know, I'm gonna add a little bit more water for now, and I'm gonna leave that just to simmer away and cook this lentils and the chicken. As you can see, look how nice and brown my chicken is, yeah? See, that's nice and brown piece of chicken. Okay, maybe a little bit, could have been done a little bit better, but let's go with that for now. This is the first time we're doing this, so we'll see what it's like. I'm just gonna let that there, simmer that down. Before I close the pot, I'm just gonna have a quick taste. Okay, and one thing, I don't like people who taste directly, you know, get a spoon and put it in your mouth. You know, you put some in your hand and you taste it. Oh, perfect, perfect. Salt is coming through, a bit of pepper. Later I'm gonna add a Scotch bonnet pepper in there as well, just for flavor. I don't want to put too much at the moment, so at the end I will just add a little bit just to get the flavor out. Okay, I'm going to put the cover on that and give it about 5-10 minutes. Okay guys, it's been cooking for about 5-10 minutes. I've just added half an onion and some of the vegetables in there, because I just want that to start stewing up nicely. Just stirring everything around, because you know, making sure what's at the bottom is coming at the top, and just moving it around, you know, making sure everything cooks nice and even and stuff like that. Once again, just keep on tasting it. Good. Okay, I put the cover back on. I want to leave it for another 5 minutes because the lentils are still a bit hard, and quite hard, really hard basically, so I need to just soften them a bit. So, you know, another thing guys, good tip, you know, when you're not, you know, the pot is cooking, do some tidying up, because then you have less stuff to do at the end, you know, because it just piles up on you. If you don't tidy up a bit at the end, you're gonna have a lot more to do. You will not be able to find anything. Whilst this is happening, you could get yourself a nice glass of Makushi rum with bois bode. Make sure the missus is coming home later. Okay guys, I've just taken up the pot after 5 or 10 more minutes on a high fire, trying to cook these lentils down a bit. So now we're going to add the rice, and I want the rice, because you know, the color of the rice is white. I want the rice to take some color. And remember, wash your rice. You saw me wash my rice earlier. Wash your rice. Okay, so I'm adding my rice in here. I'm just going to mix that down, make sure. I want the rice to get some nice brown color, you know. And at the end you might say, oh, you haven't had your coconut milk yet. Some people add it in before, but I want the rice to get the color. I want it to be a nice brown, you know, pilau, you know. So this is a one pot Caribbean dish, you know. It's similar dish to a paella. And with this pilau, as I say, you can add whatever you want in it, whatever meat you want to add in there. I mean, in Dominica, we just like the plain pilau with chicken and, you know, a few carrots, stuff like that, to just give it a color, because it's got that brown color. But things like the carrots and the veg, I'm gonna add them almost at the end, because veg, you don't need to cook them really. You can eat them as they are, but I just want them to just be there for color and the steam, and that will just cook it out. Now I'm going to turn that fire down to really low, because I want it to just, I don't want it to burn and drink up all of the water. Oops, let's go down there. Down. Just really low. Okay, let that rice really take that color. Yeah. As you notice, I had a lot of liquid in there before, and now it's almost gone. I'm gonna add the carrots because carrots will a bit hard carrots, so I need to add them. Now, you didn't see me dicing the carrots. I hope you know how to just, you know, peel and dice your carrots. You know. Remember, keep stirring everything. Make sure everything is everywhere. So there's some carrots at the bottom, at the top. It's all over in the whole pot. So when you serve it and you give somebody a nice portion, they have a bit of everything in that portion. Okay, that's looking lovely there. Just before I add my coconut milk, I'm just gonna have a nice little taste in there, see how. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so just added the rest of some onions in there and a little pinch of the Scotch bonnet pepper. I'm going to add the coconut milk now because now this coconut milk is a little bit thick, so I'll just get a little bit of water in there. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna get a nice little stir around, and now we have it on a very low fire. Okay, nice. I add a little bit of chili pepper in there. I mean, I would like to add a bit more, but my partner doesn't really like the chili too much, and also the babies. We have a little baby, and she always wants to dig into your plate whenever you're eating. So because of that, I will not add too much of the chili in it. But if you like it a little bit of spicy, just add a bit more chili as you go along. You know, I don't like adding it after it's cooked, but you can also do that afterwards. You know, just do it to your taste. You're cooking it for yourself. You're not cooking it for. Okay, so I'm gonna put the cover back on there again and just give it about 15 minutes on a very low heat. Just simmer, let the rice cook slowly and absorb all the juices. And we don't want to be adding any more water into it. We just want it to just nice and slowly cooked. I'm using that trying to finish off the actual stuff. I'm going to add some of the vegetables to give it some nice color, because you see it's a dark pot at the moment. So I'm going to add some of the veg, and it will. I want it to have that different texture of it, like a soft, and then you could have some later which is going to be a bit harder. Just want to mix that, make sure I get all the way through it, you know. And it adds some flavor to the stuff as well, you know, because every ingredient has some flavor to it. So I want it to get into the you know, every bite you have, you're gonna get that nice, beautiful taste, you know. Now some people like their pilau to be like wet. Mine I need it to be a little bit more dry than that. I'll just let it cook a little bit. I've just turned up the fire a little bit to dry out a little bit quicker. I mean, the rice is cooked and everything is cooked. The lentils is nice and soft. And remember that, guys, always, you know, the things like your lentils, you know, it's going to take a bit longer to cook. So just add it in before, get that cooking going.